TPM አፍደገ ዘመናዊ ትግራይ
These little ones have not yet begun to test the value of life. They have not yet lived an ounce of the expected lifetime. The welcoming ululations of Tigrayan mothers of each child have not yet faded. They are too young to know what is right and what is wrong. Even so, they were made to suffer shortly after they were born and just begun to live. They were made to suffer from hunger when they were expected to be fed and cared. They are exposed to death and await the eventual end for no mistake of their own making. The national identity was seen as a curse, and many despicable things have been made to make Tigrayans feel humiliated as a result of their identity.
The Wayana is a cancer. We need to carry out a program to systematically destroy every Wayana.
This is 5 million against 95 million. The only way to eradicate the spoiled fish is to cleanse the seawater.
Tigray's population is 6 million. Amara's population is around 30 million. If we probably assign 6 million to Tigray, the rest of the people can be free.
From now onwards, we need to always use the group as a horrific example and frighten our children.
Mobilization to carry out distraction of people, a genocidal campaign that is organized and led by the expansionist elites, scholars, politicians, artists, athletes, religious leaders, investors, military leaders, the leadership group of fascist Abiy, the Amhara region, and the state of authoritarian leader Isaias. The instigation was done repeatedly and continuously by state-led media and the online media sponsored by the fascist Abiy's group.
How on earth can we show any sympathy to this? Why should we keep on saying they are Ethiopians, our citizens? It's unacceptable. Never. They are not.
Since they are worse than the Satan himself, it's not necessary to fear this bunch of people.
As a result, all roads leading to Tigray from the capital were closed.
We have formed Fano, irregular Amhara militias. As Fano, as Amara, we have been doing different things. We have been blocking the road to Tigray. This is plain fact. I am just disclosing this now.
Goods and consumables were prevented from entering Tigray. Foreign investors were stopped and forced to return from the airport. Infrastructure came to a standstill. Tigrayans who were working at the government offices and posted in Addis and federal agencies were either fired or imprisoned. A deliberate decision was made to destroy the people of Tigray by refusing to send drugs for the prevention of COVID-19, face masks to school children, anti-desert locust sprays, as well as the yearly budget. Such acts became normal in everyday occurrences. In order to practically apply the malicious hate speech that was spread openly, a war was declared in the name of law enforcement in order to annihilate Tigray.
The government is forced to take a decisive measure against carrying out a sham election.
The main snake must be hit with a bullet. Enough. This is a current decree.
We are requesting if you can have the permission. Otherwise, Tigray is nothing to us. We will squash it.
At that time, the Tigrayan clergy and the laity, in their best attire, wearing the white traditional clothes symbolizing Noah's dove in looks and intent, were singing a song of peace.
Before our country, Ethiopia, heads to an endless chaos and destruction, the people and government of Tigray call on all to denounce the violations and struggle together against those who are violating the constitution.
There is فلا كل عينة متقعتي أطويبل
United with all the nations and nationalities, we need to struggle to ensure peace and order, renew our system, and continue with our plans.
Including recruits, 16 divisions, tens of thousands of special forces and militia, about 200,000 Abiy Ahmed's armed group, ground soldiers, along with full mechanized and air force of the country, thousands of special forces of the regional states.
The special forces of Somalia, Dabub, Gambela, Benshangul, Sidama, as well as the militia and special forces of Oromia from the whole Ethiopia are here, participating in the war.
43 divisions of the Eritrean army. Thousands of Somalian soldiers who were trained in Eritrea, as well as Emirati drones, were mobilized in 5 directions. They did so against the peace-loving Tigrayans, who had been sweating using their knowledge and resources and fully engaged in the fight against poverty. The forces came in mass in all directions to obliterate Tigray and Tigrayans. The operation that was waged to annihilate Tigrayans mainly aimed at targeting civilian populations and public institutions. The crimes were deliberately and mercilessly executed end to end. From Humara in the west to Alamata in the southeast, from Rama, north central, and Europe further northeast, to Naksaga in the south. All the venomous hate speech and manies had been practically carried out by the book on civilians across Tigray.
The daytime hyenas, which wish to eat us.
He is right when he said hyenas. Here is what I want to tell Dr. Abiy. There is an old saying, instead of being eaten by a hyena, eat it and be blessed. Let's eat them and be blessed. We will be blessed.
so that such people are not created in this country again, are not imagined again whatsoever. They need to be removed from humankind's psyche and thoughts, from history, books. They must be erased once and for all.
We need eternal separations from these people.
The Quran says, Ashagul Fil, which means children of Abraham. The children of Abraham are nowhere else. They are Tigray. They are not created from humankind. In fact, I think the devil is better than them.
Traitors from Satan's palace. These people are chief of Satan and beasts.
As they are Satans from hell, they must not live like humans on earth. We must not allow them to live like humans. We must take them back to hell.
Lastly, Biafra is made a crime in Nigeria. Just using the word Biafra is a crime. Most probably, the Ethiopian government can criminalize the word Tigray. Probably can divide into 4 or 5 regions or get it administered in the form of zones. By so doing, the government needs to completely revise or revisit the crime enterprise region, starting with its nomenclature or naming.
Revisit ማድረግ ስለሚያስፈልግ
In November 2020, in Mai kadra, southwest of Humara, hundreds of Tigrayans were profiled and handpicked by checking their IDs, and names were massacred by the fascist Abiy group and the Amhara Fano and militia. Many were buried alive in mass grave.
To say Tigrayan was difficult. If you say I'm Tigrayan, you would be fired at.
The students were completely finished. They killed them as they ran. Well, what can be done?
One of the generals ordered the killing, saying, "Leave no Tigrayan alive." He did this riding his cart around.
My husband came to his kids, and the Amharas found and killed him. They were our neighbors.
I had a brother called Aragawi, who was also my neighbor. They killed and burned the body. They also burnt a priest at a church.
An 85-year-old man named Abu Fano in Mai kadra told them, "I'm an old man. I'm unable to do anything." They beheaded him.
They were carrying knives, daggers, and guns. He pulled his rifle and hit me here. They stabbed me here, my neck, to check if I was alive or not.
After about 3 days of massacre, it was relatively calmer. Then a monk wearing yellow clothes came by and ordered the Amhara armed forces. Let not a Tigrayan sit next to you. It's like putting a snake in your pocket. Thus, there's no mercy to Tigray. Following this, another wave of merciless killing continued.
Everyone was exposed to misery. It was just shooting after shooting. Whoever tried to run away, or even to the cereals, young or an adult, was gunned down.
Worst of all, they dragged the bodies of civilians using vehicles.
More than 100 civilians I know were killed, In general, about 400 were killed.
In my own eyes, I saw when they stoned a person to death. Killing using a bullet is relatively dignified. They just kill using stones and daggers, sawing and asking one another, is he dead?
Civilians were slaughtered like goats. I know a person called Tesfaye Matuku who was grounded for days because they intentionally did not finish him. There was no one to help him.
For the first time in our lives, humans, Tigrayans were cut off, like heads of sorghum, using machetes, knives, and daggers.
No Tigrayan is left. All are killed.
Oh, we do not have anything left.
First, they took our livestock. Then, they took our homes. They put the label, Yamara Beit, Amhara's house. They are from other places.
In Setit Humara, hundreds of Tigrayan civilians whose legs and arms were tied up were dumped in the Tigray River. After days or weeks, some of the bodies were found in the river banks of Tigray by Sudanese fishermen.
We just got a call that 3 bodies were found down at the riverfront, so we're running down to see what we can see. From the binds still biting into his skin, it's clear this man suffered a tortured death.
ملك موت الكي تدلي تنفاس كندنا مستغبزة كابتي زبال كايو زولر كايو يتألم لولود نخبرها كبرتي قالناك علم زي كون الكين تخوينو زمحال كيون نفرسكي عالم تسوي خمتلا يخونو مبال خونكي عزم سكون تتبس اهتاك من نار أخي عالم لمنتاي تتكتي ازنخي بتوت عبسكي بكاندو بالكين تمالي كي دقام عبقت زامدري تاريك نعرسون تدقم ريناك الكي انت لقم
TPM أفدق زمناوي تجراي أبي مل علم زلهم دقفتن فتوتن ميديا حزب تجراي TPM بزاقت إلى زلالين كتدعمكم نميدياهم بتخلوا ودقف كتجبروا بتحتنا اللابو أبعد نزلهم دما بز سعب قطر حساب دقف نخت جبروا بخبر نسوع نتجبروا كل مدى وحجز أقدمنا نمسكن TPM أفدق زمناوي تجراي
TPM أفدق زمناوي تجراي